right. Hi, guys. Welcome. I'm Will Peterson. I'm one of the assistant clerkship directors and director of the residency prep course for emergency medicine at University of Michigan. I'm here joined by Laura Hobson, who's the associate chair of education at University of Michigan, Mallory Davis, who's one of the chief residents and an education fellow at University of Michigan next year, and Saurabh Khandelwal, who's program director at Ohio State. We welcome you to our talk on... Yeah, I know, amazingly. Invite you to our talk today, welcome you to our talk on optimizing feedback and thinking about feedback culture. This is kind of a unique and fun talk, we think, because we'll be delving into an area of the literature that's not very well defined right now, but it's kind of a hot topic, and we might actually generate some new ideas today that we may be able to use moving forward as we think about this and may contribute to the growing body of literature on this topic. I do, since we especially have a small group, and this is, now that you're locked in, there is a lot of participation involved with this. I do just really quickly want to hear who you are and where you are and your level. I know Megan there, who's a resident at UCSD, but I don't know the rest of you. We start up here.
I'm Tara Overbeek. I am an attending physician at Vanderbilt University.
Awesome. Welcome. Hi. Great.
I'm also Pierce. I'm also an AP at the University of Kansas.
At where?
University of Kansas.
Okay, fantastic.
I'm Blake Riggs. I'm an assistant professor at University of Alabama.
All right, great. And I know Dr. Michelle Daniel, who is at UCSD as well right now, in addition to Megan. Well, great. Well, welcome. So we are going to go through... I'll give you my agenda here if I get this working. Okay, we have no disclosures. So our agenda today is we're going to talk in small groups and then as a big group about the following topics. We're going to talk about how do we define this concept of feedback culture? What does that mean? We're going to talk about what does an optimal feedback environment or culture look like? And we're going to give a quick update on the literature. A lot of tools have come out in the last few years looking at how to measure quality of feedback. And so I'm going to go over a few of those tools just very briefly to show what's been done in the past few years. And then we'll wrap up by talking about future directions and kind of brainstorm stepping back and thinking about how do we create a tool to measure the culture of feedback, which is sort of this big notion. But so to start, by way of background, as educators, you all know, I don't have to convince you that feedback's important. We work in high-stakes environments, and our learners getting good feedback is something that's very important to their development. That's already known. We also know what good quality feedback looks like. That's well established in the literature. But we also know that quality feedback is not the only thing that plays into a learner's receptivity and incorporation of feedback. There's other variables and things that play into how well is a learner going to take feedback? How well are they going to incorporate it and use that? And so when we start to expand and think about that, I think we start to get into this bigger idea of the feedback environment or culture at an institution. I do want to pause because this is actually not super well defined in the literature, and I want to just group with people next to you. Why don't we have, the people in the back rows try to get closer, and we'll do 3 and 3, and talk about what when you hear feedback culture, what does that mean? What do you think goes into that? And this is going to be very brief. We'll just take about 4 minutes to talk about that quickly.